Greetings students, this is Professor KVH. Once again I am here to teach you the concept of ICT. So today we are here to understand or learn the concept of operating system. Before to start this concept, we at least know why to learn operating system. Because an operating system is an interface between a computer user and a computer hardware. An operating system is a software which performs all the basic tasks like the file management, memory management, the process management, handling input and output, and the controlling peripheral devices such as disk drivers and even printers. Dear students, see, there are some important functions of an operating systems which we can say that memory management, processor management, device management, file management, security, control over system performance, job accounting, error detecting aids, coordination between other software and users. That means, so these are the applications of operating systems, especially that make see, the operating system should work more comfortable, because when just we think about the following, there are some important activities. Maybe I think you would have seen that an operating system performs like in the name of security, by means the password or any similar other technique, like it prevents unauthorized access to the programs and even data. Because already you might have seen maybe the very passwords in your nowadays mobile phones, like a face recognition and even thumb operation, that called your fingerprint scanner. So that means the password, which actually these are some techniques that prevents unauthorized access to the programs and even sometime data. So control over system performance, that actually recording some delays between the request for a service and even response from the system. And even from job accounting, the keeping track of a time and even resources used by various jobs and even users, because nowadays you are accounting. And sometimes we can say error detecting aids, that called production of dumps, traces, error messages and other debugging and error detecting aids. So when actually we come over the same part of coordination between the other software and the users, so coordination and the assignment of computers, especially interpreters, assemblers and other software to the various users of the computer systems. When we think about the concept of an audience, actually this class has been prepared for the specially an educational basement ICT class, which actually to help them understand the very basic to advanced concepts related to the operating systems. So before you start the proceeding with this class, we are making an assumption that so you are already aware of basic computer concepts, like what actually the keyboard, or what actually the mouse, what actually the monitor, what actually the input output, primary memory and even the secondary memory, etc. If you are not well aware of this concept, definitely then we will suggest, I suggest you to go through the very my earlier video, which already I explained. Dear students, when actually we think about the operating system, let me discuss about the very definition of the operating system. An operating system is a program that acts an interface between the user and the computer hardware and even the controls the execution of all kinds of program. Because with the same audio, I will just put a small picture, that is a JPG picture I will send you, which has like this user 1, user 2 and like this. Just you better to check it. Very next my class I will send the same JPG. You can just find it. So when actually we think about, we have some programs like what, as just I told earlier, as a memory management, processor management, device management, file management, security, isn't it? Control over system performance. So error detecting, like, let me just discuss about the memory management. What actually this is called? Memory management refers to a management of very primary memory or main memory. The main memory is a large array of words or bytes where each word or bytes has its own address, isn't it? So main memory provides a fact storage that can be accessed directly by the CPU for a program to be executed, and it must in the very main memory. Just an operating system does the following activities, like for some what you are calling as keeping tracks for especially primary memory, and that means what a part or it are in use by whom, and what part are actually not in use, like this. In a very multi-programming, so the OS decides the which process will get memory and when and how much. So these are the things actually to discuss. So allocates the memory when actually the processor requires it to do so, and even deallocates the memory when a process no longer needs it or has been terminated. When actually we think about the processor management, definitely it multi-programming environment that the OS decides which process gets the processor when and how much time, because this function is called process scheduling. So an operating system that does the following activities for processor management. When we just discuss about the concept of device management, so an operating system manages device communication via, see their what do you call that, respective drivers. It does the following activities, just one by one I will just give you to your consideration, that the keep tracks of all devices program responsible of the same task is known as the controller. So that decides even which process gets the device when and how much time, because allocates the device in the efficient way, so deallocate devices. When we will come for the part of the file management, so the file management is normally organized into directories for easy navigation and usage. So these directories may contain files and other directions. An operating system that does not depending on always an organization directories like that may contains files and other directions, because it keeps tracks of information, location, uses. Sometimes you are calling the collective facilities are often known sometimes as a file system. Definitely when just you are sitting in front of a computer, just you will come to know that what actually I am telling you, because this should be practically demonstrated, but because of due to this online classes, it's unable to show them. But anyhow, just I will give some videos link you to just follow up those things. When we just think about some other important activities of the very operating system, then I just told earlier the security, that it means the very password that prevents even unauthorized accesses, just I told earlier. Control over the system performance, that's called a very recording delays between the request for service and even response from the system. When just we discuss about the error detecting aids, that production of dumps, traces, error messages, and even the other debugging and error detecting aids. Means It is nothing but an operating systems are these from the very first computer generation, and sometimes they keep evolving with the time. And in this chapter, definitely, we will discuss some of the important types of operating systems actually which are most commonly nowadays used, isn't it? So let me discuss about the batch operating system. So the users of the very batch operating systems do not interact with the computer directly. Each user prepares his job on and offline devices like punch cards and even submits it to the computer operators. So this to speed up processing, even job with the similar needs or batched together and run as group. So the programmers leave their programs with the operators, and even the operators then sorts the programs with the similar requirements into some batches. But sometimes we have problems with the same batch systems. That may be very lack of interaction between the user and the job. CPU is often silent because the speed of the very mechanical devices is slower than the very CPU. Difficult provide the desired priority. So that means wherever just you go, we have two the very official things. One is called we have some merits, and even sometimes we have demerits. And let me discuss about the time sharing operating systems. Time sharing is a technique which enables many people located various terminals to use a very particular computer system at the same time. And so time sharing or multitasking is a, what do you call that, logical extension of multi-programming. The processor's time, which is shared among multiple users simultaneously, is termed as time sharing. The main differences between the multi-programmed batch system and even the time sharing system is that in case of a multi-programmed batch system, the object is to maximize processor use. So whereas in the time sharing system, the objectives is to minimize response time. Multiple jobs are actually executed by the CPU by switching between them, but the switches occur so frequently, thus the users can receive an immediate response. For example, in a transaction, especially for processing, the processor executes each user program in a short burst or quantum of computation. That is, if n users are present, then each users can get a time quantum. So when the user submits the command, the response time is in a few seconds at most. So dear students, the operating system uses CPU scheduling and multi-programming to provide each user with a small portion of a time. Computer system that were designed primarily as batch system have been modified to time sharing systems. So what are those advantages? Let me discuss. So this provides what? This provides the advantage of quick response. It avoids duplication of software. Sometimes what you are calling as duplications. Maybe I think you might have seen whenever your mobile phone is supposed to be there in the download mode, more than one file in the same name is actually inserted in your gallery, maybe which is a duplicate images or a file. So reduces CPU idle time. Then what are the disadvantages of the time sharing operating system? Especially some systems are as follows. Problem or reliabilities. Questions are security and just even integrity of users program and data. And sometimes programs of data communication. So dear students, with this I conclude my lesson And in my next period, let me discuss another chapter. With this, I conclude my lesson. Have a nice time. Take care of yourself. Be safe in your home. This is once again Professor KV here. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Take care of yourself.